What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Strive. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down on what to expect this week, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So over the last several trading days, there really hasn't been that much in news associated to the company. So last news did come out on November the 14th, and that was their Q3 earnings. Last time I've done a Strive video, it was at like $1.40, and regrettably I said that it was losing momentum and was going to pull a little bit lower. And that's exactly how things did play out. But one reason why I started to cover Strive was seemingly a lot of influencers all at the same time saying that they are buying. So you have that starting to occur over the last couple trading days. So even though there hasn't really been any news, the fact that it's been holding up above $1, I think is getting on a lot of people's radar. And plus, if you think about it, over the last little bit, it's gone hit quite hard. So over the last 6 months, it's down 87.31%. And shorts have been a little bit more active. I'll go over that in a second. But I think this is why a lot of influencers are starting to now draw more attention to Strive. So we might have a very similar type of push higher that I started to cover Strive at. And even generally, the latest 13 Fs that have been coming out do kind of point to a lot of institutions loading the boat. So a lot of institutions did increase. Keep in mind, these 13 Fs are all from Q3. So it wasn't just overnight. It wasn't last week. It was all done in Q3. There's a couple sketchy ones that I think people need to be aware of, and one of which is Yorkville Advisors. So usually they are kind of the Grim Reaper for the most part. So if they're getting involved, then that's usually not a good sign. But nonetheless, though, a lot of institutions increasing and making brand new positions, mind you, in Q3. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. But like I said, a lot of big names are starting to really draw attention to it. You're getting a little bit more of an uptick in the volume. So it's been rough. But then again, it's more macro news that's been really moving the broader market. So I think all in all, as speculative as Strive is, it's actually been doing fairly well. I know some people might disagree with me on that, but you have to factor in that the market's been punishing a lot of stocks, a lot more than what's been happening. So keep in mind, over the last 1 month, Strive is still green. Most stocks are down like 40%. So I think, like I said, Strive is doing fairly well. Going into this upcoming week, though, 36.61% of the free float's being shorted. Works out to be 99.6 million shares. So going into this upcoming week, not only are you seeing a lot of influencers starting to talk about it again, but it is at all-time high short interest numbers. So I think that's kind of a good recipe for a nice appreciation, if you ask me. Even on Friday, shorts did increase 1.95 million shares. You do see some signs of manipulation, so cost to borrow minimum is negative 0.37%. Nothing crazy, because that's an annual rate, not a daily rate, but that also does signal that there are brokers out there paying people to short the stock. So that's definitely some signs of manipulation, if you ask me. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around above $1, and it looks like for 2026, mid to late 2026, that will be above $2. Aside from that, looking at the bear standpoint, you don't really see much activity. In the short term, they are anticipating for it to be sub pretty much $1. So nothing really too crazy to kind of write home about. Aside from all of that fun stuff, with it closing on Friday at 102, right below this S1. So that 103 is going to be that very, very key pivot. So best case scenario, it does close above that, and then you can kind of see a very nice push higher. So 128 and then 154 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. Flip side, 87 cents and then 67 cents is going to be the next strong support points. When it comes to this week, though, we have a lot of big data on Tuesday. Monday, not so much. We just have Dallas Fed manufacturing. Tuesday, we have ADP employment, PPI, retail sales, and consumer confidence. And so all of that can really move the market. And that's going to change, most likely, people's perception of rate cuts. So you did have Williams on Friday, luckily enough, coming out and saying, hey, you know what? Most likely we will be seeing a cut in the upcoming December meeting. So I think that could be a pretty good catalyst if you ask me. So let me know your general thoughts on that. But aside from the momentum aspect of the company, I don't believe that there's any true short-term catalysts as well. From looking at their earnings, of course, I think it kind of justifies the multiple that they do have. Nothing really crazy. So anyone getting in, it's still very much speculative in nature, of course, but I think there's already a lot of Bitcoin treasuries out there. Cryptocurrency hasn't been doing that great on a side note. So I think the price action kind of is justified, but still, like I said, I think it's been doing fairly well. So like I said, just kind of watch for a lot of these support and resistance points. Aside from all that fun stuff on the actual chart, some key levels to watch for is going to be that 10-day moving average. And this is exactly one thing that really caused a nice breakout. So not only does it need to get above 103 on Monday, but needs to get above 115 as well. So if it is able to get above that 115, then this is where you could see a similar price action to what happened at the end of October, which was as well, in my opinion, largely prompted because of influencers, Mike, and a couple of other individuals as well. So in my opinion, this is one stock that you need to add to your watch list if you haven't already. And then not only that though, just kind of watch for those kind of points, right? 103 and then 115. If it does fail to get above that 115 by, let's say Tuesday, most likely afternoon, then we most likely will be seeing some further consolidation. So just stay nimble, do what you need to do. In my opinion, I don't think this is a stock that you need to YOLO in, but still needs to be added to your watch list at the very bare minimum. So let me know your thoughts on this stock. Are you buying? Are you selling? What are you generally doing with this stock? And then one final thing, because of Black Friday, I did put a $10 promotion on here for swing trades. So if you are looking for swing trades that are absolutely on point, no different than when right before on October the 27th, when this stock did run up quite considerably, I put out a buy signal at $1.10, saying that most likely it's going to go to around $1.75, and it had a high of $1.81. So again, definitely sign up for this promotion, Black Friday, so only a couple days left, and it is $10 a month, and you will be forever at $10 a month. So definitely worth taking a look at that. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.